Hi everyone. I'm Emma, and you're on the Stories by Emma channel. Let's dive into some amazing stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. The Disappearance on Westwood Street. It was an autumn morning in New York when Savannah Johnson, a 29-year-old investigative journalist, received a mysterious phone call. On the other end of the line, an unknown voice informed her about the disappearance of a local activist, known for fighting gentrification in the Brooklyn neighborhood. Curious and always ready to investigate, Savannah decided to follow the lead, even though she knew it wouldn't be an easy task. The disappearance of Thomas Green wasn't just an isolated case. It could be linked to a larger web of real estate interests. As she dug deeper, Savannah crossed paths with Carter Moore, a local police officer who was also intrigued by Green's disappearance. Carter, 35, had a reputation for being relentless, and at first he was hesitant to work with a journalist. However, the two soon realized they were chasing the same goal. They decided to team up, although there was some initial mistrust. As they walked the narrow streets of Brooklyn, they felt they were being watched but couldn't pinpoint where the threat was coming from. Their leads took them to an abandoned building, which once housed a textile factory. Now deserted, it was a refuge for some homeless people and reportedly the last place Thomas Green had been seen. Savannah and Carter spoke to a few of them, who hesitated to talk but eventually mentioned that Green had been investigating documents that could expose a large-scale corruption scheme. Savannah felt she was on the verge of an important discovery. Meanwhile, Carter received a call from his boss, Captain Adams, ordering him to stop pursuing the case. "This is beyond our jurisdiction," Adams said coldly. Carter, however, wasn't the type to walk away from an investigation so easily. He knew something bigger was at stake. Savannah, on the other hand, felt the weight of responsibility, but her journalistic instincts pushed her forward. She knew that if they didn't continue, no one else would. Determined to move ahead, they decided to meet with Vanessa Lee, a civil rights attorney who had worked with Green in the past. Vanessa was a sharp and confident woman who was well-versed in urban struggles. She revealed to Savannah and Carter that Thomas had been investigating a real estate consortium tied to powerful politicians. He knew he was in danger, but he never imagined it would go this far, Vanessa said. Their investigation led them to a discreet office in downtown Manhattan, where Savannah managed to arrange a meeting with an old colleague, Jeremy Fitz, a financial expert. He provided them with confidential information about suspicious real estate transactions involving public areas in Brooklyn. "This goes beyond a simple disappearance," Jeremy said as he showed them a series of documents revealing multimillion-dollar fraud. Savannah couldn't believe what she was seeing. Determined to uncover the truth, Savannah, Carter, and Vanessa began planning a way to expose the corruption without putting their lives at risk. They knew they were dealing with powerful people who would do anything to protect their interests. The trio decided to take a safer route by trying to pass the information to the press first. However, that same day, Savannah received an anonymous threat. The message was clear: "Stop or you'll face the consequences." Despite the threats, Savannah didn't give up. She and Carter had gathered enough evidence to publish an explosive story, but first they needed to ensure the documents' safety. That's when Vanessa suggested they take them to a trusted district attorney. Meanwhile, Carter kept noticing suspicious activity around them. Something was about to happen and time was running out. While delivering the documents to the district attorney, they were ambushed by armed men. Savannah and Carter narrowly escaped, but Vanessa was taken. The situation was getting more dangerous by the minute, and desperation was beginning to set in. Carter promised Savannah that he would do everything in his power to rescue Vanessa, and together they began devising a plan to locate her. They couldn't let her become another victim of the scheme. With the help of a local informant, the two managed to track the kidnappers to an abandoned industrial warehouse. Carter, armed with determination and experience, and Savannah, with her journalistic wit, entered the location. Vanessa was tied up but alive. The kidnappers tried to intimidate them, but they weren't prepared for the resistance they faced. In a tense and swift fight, Carter managed to subdue them. After the rescue, the trio was more determined than ever to expose the corruption. The material was handed over to the district attorney, who, with the support of the media, began a formal investigation into the real estate consortium. Savannah and Carter knew there was still much to be done, but this was the beginning of an important change for the city. Thomas Green's disappearance would not be in vain, and his investigation had brought to light the truth that so many had tried to hide. In the end, with the story published and the investigations underway, New York began to breathe a sigh of relief. The consortium was dismantled, and many corrupt politicians and businessmen were arrested. Vanessa resumed her work in civil rights advocacy, while Carter continued his role as a quiet hero in the police force. As for Savannah, now a respected journalist, she kept fighting for the truth, knowing the city was always full of new mysteries waiting to be uncovered. The story of Thomas Green, Savannah Johnson, Carter Moore, and Vanessa Lee became one of the most talked about in New York. A journey that began with the disappearance of an activist and ended with the downfall of a corrupt empire, showing that sometimes the truth comes to light, even when it seems impossible.